Just look at all the glorious sunshine.
Don't be a stranger in the night. Take a chance for some romance. Don't
It is the 31st of October today. For the first time in about 2 weeks, the sunshine has decided to come out. We've had severe, extreme weather, and as you can see, the garden has just gotten completely out of control. We have to now do all the mowing and the property maintenance. Oh gosh, living on a property is quite exhaustive at times, especially when the weather gets in the way of you looking after it. But without getting deep into the off-grid living part of my life, what I wanted to do today is to celebrate the fact that we are entering November. We have just gone through all of October, spooky season, obviously, and I have some favorites. So I wanted to do a October favorites video for you today. Okay, I thought for maximum efficiency, we're going to move throughout the house, and I'll show you everything that has literally just brought me so much delight this month. There are some homewares, there's some witchiness, there's some bookish vibes, there's some jewelry vibes, there's some makeup vibes in this video, so stick with me. There'll be something for everyone, I hope. All right, my saving grace in the mornings has been my beautiful Chemex, and my Bodum coffee grinder does an excellent grind. I'm a big fan of Bodum French presses and plunger style coffees, so I wanted to try their little grinder out and go with the Chemex and get a little bit more Brazilian with my coffee making. For the last couple of years, I have been an avid tea drinker, mostly because coffee, I have overconsumed it and it had caused me, you know, those caffeine anxiety moments. So I took a step back and now I'm coming back into it. And so because I'm coming back into coffee, I wanted to give myself a much better, more bougie coffee experience. I wanted that coffee ritual again, which is something that I haven't had for such a long time. So I decided to invest in these two items to use, and I cannot emphasize this enough. It makes a tremendously delicious and beautiful, smooth, and just a chef's kiss good cup of coffee. And that is exactly what I need to kickstart my day. All right, so for art supplies, yes, I have favorite art. Let me try and do this one-handed or I'll fail. I'm once again in love with these beautiful Tombow markers. I'm using them in my Hobonichi. I've also put together this beautiful little palette here to use on the go. This is a gorgeous little watercolor palette and it's really, really light. It's an ultralight. That's my selection of colors. This is my on-the-go travel palette. This is a look at how I do use some of my Tombow markers, some of my watercolor palette work with that little palette. I like to doodle in my Hobonichi. I'm very obsessed with this type of flower here. As you can see, here's another flower, here's another flower, here's another flower. This is one of my favorites. And then I started to get really into mushrooms. Yep, that's right. I got really into playing around with mushrooms and doing greenery and all of that. And all of that lovely little doodling was done with my little watercolor palette and my little Tombow markers, which I typically use my Tombow markers more as like highlighters for when I'm actually creating myself work tasks to segregate. Now that I have been formally diagnosed with ADHD, planning has been a huge component to organizing my day because I find that I'm very, very disorganized. And so color, especially pleasing color to my eyes, helps me to stay on track with my tasks. So that's a little strategy that I'm trying to implement, thanks to a few helpful tips from my psychologist. Yay. So I got this beautiful little jewelry box in the owl crate and it holds all of my absolute favorite pieces of jewelry. I have these resin cast little apples. This is my absolute favorite pendant. I love it. It comes from the Witch's Moon. I absolutely love and adore wearing it. I get a lot of compliments when I'm wearing it. These are some locally made beautiful copper earrings. I enjoy wearing copper because it's very Venetian, and I've been looking for some nice little discs, and they're my newest acquisitions. And inside are these cool little moon earrings, and they have a different backing to them. So there's the moon, and then there's the backing, so that you don't have those usual little butterfly clips that poke in the back. These are really comfortable to wear. They're a little tricky to get used to, but they're very comfortable to wear. So they are my favorite little earrings. As far as scents go, I'm a big perfume person. So this is the YSL, the new one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's really delightful. It's not a nice spring fragrance. The Carolina Herrera Good Girl has been a favorite now for a couple of months in a row. I've just scored a big bottle of it, decided to treat myself, but I love this fragrance, and I'm looking for something that compares to this fragrance in some way, in how much I love it. Compares in how much I love it. That's what I wanted to say there. The Carolina Herrera is a really sexy fragrance, and when I'm out and about and enjoying life, which is something that I don't get to do all that often, I'm often complimented when I wear the Carolina Herrera. My partner absolutely loves it. He wants to eat me when I'm spritzed in it. So that's an added bonus. Here are my favorite makeup skincare products. Starting with, I've got a puppy with me here, the Hourglass Illusions. This is a kind of CC cream. It's got a little bit of SPF in it. I also have another sort of like tinted moisturizer by NARS, so I toggle between those two. Loving this beautiful mascara by Benefit. The Anastasia Beverly Hills, I believe this is, what is it called again? The translucent loose powder. Oh no, Laura Mercier, sorry, not Anastasia, Laura Mercier. Ultra fine, absolutely beautiful, really good for my 40-year-old skin. And here we have the Charlotte Tilbury, what is it called? Concealer. Just a really light under eye concealer, the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. So they're lovely. This is my favorite naked palette at the moment, Urban Decay. I'll show you the colors. All right, we have a really great selection of neutrals. You can see me in the mirror there. Hi. Yes, a great selection of neutrals. Really beautiful, sweet, romantic, pinky sort of tones, and fantastic for the spring. Skincare, the Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment and the Clinique Moisture Surge Spray. I am a fanatic of the, Clinique Moisture Surge moisturizer, and I use it religiously, but the spray has been a godsend. Wake up, cleanse my face, give this a little bit of a spritz, and then moisturize over the top of it. So it's been really lovely to use all of these products, and they've brought me a great amount of joy because I get to pamper. As a mother who's quite busy, it sometimes goes that I don't really look after my skin and my hair and all of that, but I've been trying to put in a little bit more effort because I've noticed that my mood is very dependent on how much attention I give myself. I stopped for a couple of months giving myself any attention. And then suddenly I was reminded of self-care. I was reminded of things like fill your cup, pamper yourself a little bit every now and then. So I decided to get back into the things that I really enjoy. And I'm a Taurus, so I'm attracted to beautiful things. I'm a very sensory person. And I like to look after my skin. I like to look nice when I step outside. I like those things. And I just sometimes forget to put that little bit of time aside for myself in order to do that. It makes me feel good. And then I go throughout my day feeling just that little bit better and feeling like I did, in fact, give myself just a little bit of attention, at the same time as I'm giving everybody else my attention. So a little bit for me and then a lot for everybody else. But that's the life of a mother, isn't it? Okay, so for witchy favorites, I've been working with this St. Cyprian oil. This one is by the beautiful Juniper Moon. I've also been working very, very closely with High John the Conqueror and also with Vervain. So they have been the 3 oils that I have been working with, along with this beautiful Stressless, which I've gone through at an absurd rate. I just wanted to show you this. My partner is doing a little reno on a friend's property at the moment, and they dug in some piping and they pulled up this very old bottle. It's not super duper old because it's got that, you know, that little threading there, but it is warped glass. It's got some age to it. So I thought that I might mix up some really cool red brick dust and put it in there. The month of October really threw metaphysical maintenance into sharp relief for me. So I've been extremely focused on metaphysical maintenance, making sure my floors are metaphysically cleansed, making sure myself, my partner, my children, my house are metaphysically cleansed. So here are the products that I have been using. I've been rocking a certain number of smoking bundles. So I have this one on the go here. And if we travel over here, I also have this one here on the go. One's eucalyptus, one is saged. I also have this white sage hydrosol, which is something that I use when I don't feel like smoke cleansing. I have had a really nasty cough. I'm getting over an illness, so I haven't really been able to burn too many, you know, smoking items within my household. So I've been working with that. And I have also been working with Palo Santo, which I like to do after I have done everything else. Palo Santo makes things holy to me, so it makes things divine. It caps everything off really nicely. I have been working with this Sete de Machos, and it is a beautiful cleansing. It eradicates negativity and negative attachments. It's very cleansing and clearing. And so I've been working with that a lot. Whenever I have my evening shower and my wind down, I make sure that I use this cologne and cap off my day. And then I like to use some Florida water as well as part of my blessing work and my protection work and my metaphysical maintenance practice. So they are the objects. For tarot decks and oracle decks, I got really into the Tarot of the Sorceress, which is the deck that I used for the 30-day tarot challenge over on Cardslinger. And I've also been playing around with the Raven's Wand Oracle by Stephen Hutton. They're 2 really beautiful decks. I've tried to sort of niche down and work with a pair of decks down here every month. Although I'm not religiously attached to the idea of working with, you know, a deck a month, I just want to dedicate some length of time to the decks that I'm working with to better acclimate to their energies. So working with the Tarot of the Sorceress, this is a deck that was sent to me for review by Rockpool Publishing. I've really enjoyed it. It surprised me quite a bit, and the Raven's Wand is just so magical and beautiful, and just it's the energy that I wanted in October. So 2 beautiful occultish, esoteric, metaphysical decks there. Now I'd like to share with you some of the magical workings that I have been pouring a little bit of energy into, show you how they're going, what they look like. I am in the mood for jars and bowls. That's my magic at the moment. Jars, bowls, petition writing, candle magic. That's what I'm in the mood for in my folk magical practice. So let's have a look. First of all, I have this glorious looking money bowl. This bowl sat on my kitchen table and attracted so much energy from my children, who kept on adding things. See these little petals here? They added these little petals, they added this little play money, they added bits and pieces to it. There's probably like chocolate eggs in there as well. I mean, I just let it go, because the more energy was added to it, the more potent it became. And I find that when children actually add their energy, their magic, their mysticism to a spell, it really amplifies the energy of that spell. And I love to include my children in the magic that I do, and I don't like to direct them when I'm including them. I'm like, just add your little magic and then watch them just interpret that instruction in such a glorious way. Here is a nice little money bowl. Again, I'm actually more focused on the rice aspect, so this is blessing the rice in there, and there's an old school Brazilian macumba style magic in there with bay leaves and cinnamon. Over here I have what I like to call my angel feather. This little bit of stuff here, as artificial as it is, was added by my youngest daughter, and it is a success rice, and so they have added their little bits and pieces to that, and it's sitting here and it's marinating, and I love it. Here I have a money oil brewing away, and as you can see, she's got a little heat to it. But that's something that I will be decanting at some point, or just leaving it here for use. But I've got to feed it and give it a little shake and do all of that beautiful fun stuff that we do when we're making and creating. So that's a nice little oil there. And over here I have a spell jar, as you can see, a little shaker. So it's topped up, it's good to go, and that's what I have been working on. I have a working candle right there, little petition underneath it, and that is most of the magic that I have been working for the month. So it's been pretty damn good. Yeah, really enjoyed it. For witchy accoutrement, this beautiful calendar or Sabbath board that was made by the Pandora Witch Shop. Oh my gosh, I have some of their other items there. I have that beautiful Ouija board, and then laying on its side, that beautiful tarot board. And I toggle between using this one here and that one there. The Pandora Witch Shop is based in the Ukraine, and as we know, they are going through a tremendous war and crisis over there. So I want to do a dedicated video to their beautiful creations, because they need a lot of love and support right now, a lot of financial aid. So I really want to do a dedicated video to that, and I'm trying to concoct something that looks amazing and that does their products the justice that they deserve, because they truly are handcrafted, beautiful, beautiful boards and products that deserve a little attention. All right, so I have some crystals here. Okie dokie. So first of all, this beautiful stone is from a place in and around Glastonbury. My friend picked it up for me and brought it all the way back. She's held on to it for a while until she could finally give it to me. And I think it's from the Avebury. I can't remember the name of it. Honestly, it's from a stone circle. Let's go with that. So that is Magic-y number 1. It does sparkle in the light. Not that I can really show you that right now, but it does. It's iridescent in the light. It's got a little Merlin-esque magic to it. I have been working a lot with carnelian. This is one of my chakra stones, and I am absolutely in love with this stone. It has done wonders. Just sheer body placement to place this on my sacral. Oh my gosh. Again, I have been trying to do a little crystal calibration, a little crystal healing work, a little chakra balancing as a part of my metaphysical maintenance, because I have been really, really quite neglectful of myself. And some of my other chakra stones here, as you can see, this is my partner's beautiful piece of smoky. They're all in this gorgeous little dish here because we had them, lunar cleansing. And then of course over here I have my amethyst and I have my sodalite stone. I've really loved the energy of sodalite for working on the throat and for doing communication work. I've tried to calm down my communication of late and speak slower and speak more eloquently and be mindful of the words that I'm using. This is all a part of my metaphysical maintenance practice. I found that I was in a fairly negative headspace in the month of October, and some of the language that I was using, some of the words that I was saying, some of the self-talk, I really needed to focus on that and make sure to transform that. And so I was using sodalite to help me to clear out that blockage, that negative self-talk, that, internal monologue that was just kind of dragging me down. Every day I was waking up feeling like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders. And that's when I realized that I was in metaphysical crisis and I needed to do something to shift the energy. And as soon as I recognized the problem, I took action straight away, and I launched into a really aggressive style of metaphysical maintenance in order to lift my spirits, to lift my energy. And I'm so glad that I did, because it had such a great knock-on effect. It lifted the energy in the household. My partner started to feel better. He too made his transformations. He's now been doing his metaphysical maintenance as well, because he's quite spiritual. My kids have been like a little bit more elevated, a little bit more bouncy. And since my eldest daughter broke her foot and is on crutches, she too needed to be exposed to a much lighter, brighter, happier, constructive, creative energy, something that was more malleable and you could work with. I felt like I was sitting at one point in a pool of my own negativity, just basking in this mud. And as soon as I realized that that is exactly what I was doing, I was first of all just shocked with myself. And second of all, I pulled myself right into line then. And I throw no shade at myself for that. Life gets a bit hectic. Life gets you down. Life gets, crazy at times. And it's easy to allow the things that you usually do that help you to heal, to help you to fill your cup, to help you to enjoy life, that help you to feel better about yourself, to kind of slip away. And so the month of October was very much a month of pulling it all back in, and of honoring myself, and of fulfilling my needs and honoring the needs of others, but making sure that I was a priority in amongst prioritizing others as well, which is something that many of us need to be reminded to do from time to time. So that is definitely something that I focused on throughout the month of October. And that basically wraps up my October favorites. I went really wide with this because, I'm a human being. I don't just work with tarot. I don't just work with crystals. I don't just work as a witch or a tarot reader. I don't just work in the field of books. Even though I don't have a favorite book for this month, I have been listening to some incredible books, and I want to give an honorable mention to Cemetery Boys and the incredible audiobook for Cemetery Boys. I'm currently reading Realm Breaker. I'm also reading Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft, but I'm nowhere near finished with any of those, so I can't really include them in this. I haven't yet finished Cemetery Boys, and I've been reading it for such a long time. So I'm very much behind on my reading, but I dare say that November is going to feature a lot of books because I'm back into the swing of reading. So that is what will happen there. In the meantime, my loves, I look forward to hearing what your favorites were throughout the month of October. Drop a few, comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you've been focused on. Tell me what kind of revelations you've had. Have you two been wallowing in the mud, or have you been shining brightly? And I'd love to hear the items and the resources and the tools and the strategies that you have personally used to calibrate yourself in a really beautiful and healthy way. Much love to you. Take care, and I'll chat to you again soon.